Well, it's that time of year again as those little golden statues are handed out and nominees await their name being called. What will win? This year marks one of the most competitive Oscar fields, with many categories serving as incredibly close races, which will certainly bring some added excitement to the ceremony. So I'll try and predict each category as best as I can. In Best Live-Action Short Film, DeKalb Elementary is definitely the most timely option, as it details a gunman planning a school shooting, and it is sure to resonate in the current climate. In the Best Documentary Short category, Edith and Eddie, about an elderly interracial couple, also seems like the sort of film certain to get an emotional response, so I'll predict that one. When the Best Animated Short nominees were announced, I initially thought Dear Basketball would win. But since Kobe Bryant has had sexual assault allegations, I feel like voters might feel strange giving him an Oscar, especially with the rise of the Me Too movement. So I'm predicting The Frogs of Garden Party to win. Any of the nominees for Best Documentary Feature seem like possibilities, but I think the legendary status of French New Wave director Agnès Varda will net a win for Faces Places. Best Film Editing seems like it'll go in the direction of Dunkirk, due to how it cuts between the different times and locations during the famous evacuation. The big question surrounding Best Cinematography is whether Roger Deakins will finally win for Blade Runner 2049. He definitely has a chance, but I think such a big deal was made about seeing Dunkirk on IMAX that I'm predicting Hoyt van Hoytema to win. Phantom Thread, with a story about a perfectionist fashion designer, feels like it was made to win Best Costume Design, while the soaked laboratories and Cold War setting of The Shape of Water should allow it to clinch Best Production Design. Best Foreign Language Film does not have a frontrunner, but with its transgender star Daniela Vega set to present at the Oscars, I think the Chilean film A Fantastic Woman has the support required to win. With Best Visual Effects, this might be the final chance the motion capture apes of Planet of the Apes have to win. But I'm predicting Blade Runner 2049, due to its other 4 nominations showing the film has its fair share of fans within the Academy. The sound categories can be tricky to predict. There's a lot of internal theorizing over what film could take both, or whether there'll be a split. And if there is a split, which movie will win which category? Dunkirk, with its gun firings and aerial battles, feels like the sort of film that could take Best Sound Effects Editing, while The Shape of Water seems like a fitting winner for Best Sound Mixing. Then again, last year the war film won for sound mixing and the creature feature took sound editing, but I'm sticking with those predictions. Best Original Song seems like it's a race between 2 pairs of hit Broadway songwriters. The Greatest Showman has been a box office force, and I'm sure it'll have plenty of fans within the Academy who will vote for Benj Pasek and Justin Paul's This Is Us. Meanwhile, Kristen Anson Lopez and Robert Lopez's Remember Me plays a key narrative role in Coco and is played multiple times during the film, making it hard to forget. I'm predicting Remember Me to win the Lopez's their second Oscar. A bit more certain is Best Original Score, which feels like it's absolutely going to Alexandre Desplat for The Shape of Water. Meanwhile, Darkest Hour will probably win Best Makeup for its transformation of Gary Oldman into Winston Churchill. Call Me By Your Name faces little competition in the Best Adapted Screenplay category, which will make James Ivory one of the oldest winners in Academy Awards history. A real nail-biter is Best Original Screenplay. Both Jordan Peele's Get Out and Marta McDonagh's 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri have gotten plenty of attention for their handling of social issues, and I'm sure the votes will be extremely close when they're tallied up. I'm going to give a slight edge to Get Out as a way to honor Jordan Peele's achievement and how his film managed to become a part of the public lexicon. Refer to the sunken place and people will instantly know what you're talking about. And do we have a Disney release in the Best Animated Feature category? Coco? Then I think we can safely predict that one. The acting categories are probably the most assured they've been in a long time, with both BAFTA and SAG picking the same 4 performances. While I still think Laurie Metcalf could sneak in a win for Best Supporting Actress, the more villainous mother, played by Allison Janney in I, Tonya, is a sort of broad performance they'd like to reward. The depiction of Sam Rockwell's policeman in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri has faced its share of controversy since the film's release, but Rockwell is still certain to find himself on the Oscar podium in the Best Supporting Actor category. For a while, Best Actress seemed like it would be a competitive one, but Frances McDormand is looking more and more likely to secure her second Best Actress Oscar for a role very far removed from Marge Gunderson. And Gary Oldman cemented his frontrunner status in the Best Actor category from the minute the first still images of him as Winston Churchill were released. Best Director seems like it's definitely going to Guillermo del Toro for The Shape of Water. But what to make of Best Picture? 3 billboards won the BAFTA Award for Best Film and the SAG Award for Best Ensemble, but we all saw what happened last year when the frontrunner peaked too early and faced backlash. Madonna not getting nominated for Best Director is also troubling. The Shape of Water won the Producers Guild Award and the Directors Guild Award, and seems like a consensus favorite among many. However, in the back of my mind, I wonder if Get Out could end up sneaking the big win. It's managed to keep people talking a year since it was released, and its social commentary about race relations in America could resonate with Oscar voters. Or maybe I'm thinking too much into this. I'm going to play it safe and predict The Shape of Water. Will I be correct, or are we in for another Moonlight-style shocker? We'll find out very soon. See you next time.